to the festival. Hence their amazement at his teaching, especially since Jesus was not a graduate of the accepted rabbinical schools. Among the Jews, it was the accepted policy that only a disciple of an accredited teacher was entitled to expound the Scriptures and to talk about the law. No rabbi ever made a statement on his own authority. He always began with, quote, "There is a teaching that," and then he went on to cite quotations and authorities for every statement he made. The people, however, noticed that Jesus was different than the other teachers educated in the schools. Jesus didn't appeal to any other teacher or authority. His teaching streamed forth from him with fresh and new insight, yet fully in agreement with Scripture. The people realized that here was a teacher who had really mastered the Bible, more so than any teacher they had ever heard. I will allow translation. Verse 16. So Jesus answered them, "My teaching is not mine, but his who sent me. All the prophets, as God's spokesmen, delivered a message that was not their own, but was God's. So also with Jesus, as the works which he did were those which the Father had given him to do." John 5:36. So the words which he spoke were those which the Father had given him to speak. See John 3:34. Jesus always deflected any praise or admiration toward himself by attributing all that he said or did to the Father. He wanted to be viewed as a messenger from the Father, speaking only what the Father had bidden him speak. Thus Jesus made it crystal clear that we cannot deal with Jesus as some kind of prophet with new ideas. No, what he says is what the Father bid him say. Therefore, to reject Jesus is to reject God, not just some new prophet. Jesus never comes up with new ideas that he thought up. No, every word, every action is one that the Father sent him to speak or work the Father sent him to perform. Then Jesus continued, verse 17 and 18, "If a man's will is to do his will, he shall know whether the teaching is from God, or whether I am speaking on my own authority. He who speaks on his own authority seeks his own glory, but he who seeks the glory of him who sent him is true, and in him there is no falsehood." Jesus here enunciated a general principle. A person who is slave to his own self-seeking praise and honor is naturally anxious to win the approval of others. But on the other hand, anyone who seeks only the honor of the one he represents will be truthful and not false. In contrast to the blinding ambition of many of the rabbis, Jesus is unselfish in his teaching, seeking only the Father's glory and will. So also, anyone who wills to do God's will is able to discover whether his teaching is from God or not, since he himself is devoted to doing God's will. We might say we find out what we're really looking for.